The hand that rocks the cradle, the mother, the procreator. Yes, she defines and rules the world. But ironically, today, the same mother is a cause of concern to all of us across the globe. Respected judges and my dear fellow Toastmasters, there is a point where the least becomes the most. And today, majority of us do not realize that the least could be of great help. We look down at many cases. I'm going to take you to this landlocked island in the southern tip of Africa where a child is killed, an innocent child is killed just because he belongs to a well-to-do family to acquire all the prosperity he has to my wife who is expecting, to my child in the womb. I know of this place because my father was working in this area as the principal of a school. As the principal, he had all right to collect the fees and bank it on the very same day. Unfortunately, that particular day, the banking system failed and the money came home. My mother, a very, very active lady, she puts money not in one place. She leaves it in different places. In Malayalam, we usually have a quote which says, we keep it like a cat keeps its child after birth. So the money lay everywhere in the house, but not accessible in one point. That night, we had a get-together of the teachers in the house. And all of us were sitting there when suddenly the door, somebody knocked. And there, my mother ran to the window and checked who it was to find three gentlemen standing outside, and they claimed that there was a student who had met with an accident in the village and he needed to be taken out of the village. Just to inform you, apparently if there is an accident, a death or any casualty in the village at night, the principal has all the rights of a village head to sign and let the body be taken out of the village. My father came rushing to the door, opened the door, and he walked out to meet these three people when I, who was just 2 at that point in time, ran out with him. The third person in the group picked me up, and before my parents could realize there was a gun on my head, my mother told my father, yes, this has to be a dacoit. She told in the vernacular language, and she told him that the money in the locker is little and please go and give it to them. They dragged my father into the bedroom where the locker was kept, and I was in their hands still. Looking at the gun, I could see that it was just a toy, but for my parents it would have been their life, I can imagine, because today I have a son who is 2 years as well. At that point in time when they reached the locker and they saw the money, they let me go and I was free. My mother threw me into the bathroom, locked me up there because she didn't want to lose me again. They looked at the money, they saw the money, they took the money. In the argument process, suddenly somebody within the group said, this is not the amount of money which was supposed to be there in the house. So just to again inform you, there was clear-cut information that the money which was inside was a particular amount. They walked out. As they were walking out, they pulled my father along. They are not happy, they punish you. What is the punishment? Shoot at sight. So they pulled my father along, and as they were walking out through the kitchen to the outside of the house, my mother ran behind them, and the first thing she did was she caught hold of my father on his collar and pulled him. Just to give you a hint, she's a sports lady, and my father flew right into the house, and that was it. The next thing she knows is the 6 feet 2 inch guy standing in front of her, and she, all without any arms, standing in front of him as well. The next thing she did was she pushed him out of the door and locked the door, and she collapsed. My dear friends, just imagine if that day my mother had waited for somebody else who was a male to come forward and pull her husband in. The fate of my sister, my mother, and me would have been totally different. In an unknown island, just 3 of us, what would we have done? But today we have everything because she stood up for us at that point in time. Let me ask you, just because you are a woman or just because you are a girl, what difference does it make in giving education which is standardized, giving a life which is standardized? Somehow, this country in which we are is really unfortunate because somehow we have taught our boys that a lady who wears short dresses is bad. A lady who goes to work is bad. A lady who wears makeup is bad. Why? Instead of that, why don't we teach them that a lady who goes to work is only taking 50% of the responsibility of looking after the house? A lady who is doing makeup is only seeing to it that she is working on her self-esteem. Why is it that we do this? And why are our girls taught to keep quiet all the time when they have an individuality of themselves? Just imagine, Kerala is a state which is known to be 100% literate. But are we literate? Last week we saw a man hacked to death just because he took a few bits of rice. A lady raped every other minute in this country. Why? Because we have not given or imparted education which could give importance to the woman as well. Why is the woman treated lesser than a man? Why is it happening? Let me tell you, there was a point in time in the Puranas where the woman took a garland and walked around in Swayamvara finding her husband. Today, the woman stands at a door, draws pictures on the floor, and then the guy comes and says that I do not want you because he can easily decline. Why did this happen? Let me tell you, my dear friends, it's a system which needs to change. The change has to happen from within. Let us be part of this change where we see to it that our women are treated with dignity and our women also feel empowered. Let us compete equally with a man and a woman and see that we excel in life rather than give a certain percentage of reservation and push them to a side. Let us compete equally and let us make this country a fully equal country with sex. Let us not fight on the basis of race, religion, and community and sex. Before I close, if Swayamvara was to have been done for me, I still do not know whether I would have been married. Thank you very much at this point in time. That's all what I would like to talk to you about. Thank you.